Experience far from others. An audio medium unlike anything you've ever heard before. The pinnacle of sound experience. Jacked and Canned. Featuring John Tessman and Colby Tyler. A place where you will get the information you crave and hear about the topics that you love. Presented by themselves. Coming to you from the basement, bar, and the bedroom. Sponsored by no one. Jacked and Canned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jacked and Canned. You guys might have noticed that John has come up with a new system for our intro. Unfortunately, it's going to sound a little bit strange with that like 5 seconds in between when the music stops and when we start.
Oh, back to the editing studio we go.
It's all right. In all seriousness, I think we'll figure that out. But John, tonight we have a sports roundtable to do. Would you like to start us off with your classic staple exercise?
Exercise? Yes. You mean who's on top?
Yes, I do.
Absolutely. So where do we kick it off? NHL, Colbs. Why not how about we start there? Atlantic Division. I've pretty much dropped OTL. I've dropped all the points because, yeah, it sounds about right. The Panthers, 32-10. The Bruins, honorable mention, 26-14. Metropolitan Division. The Hurricanes are on top, 31-9, followed by the Rangers, 30-13. Yes. Western Conference, the Avalanche sitting on top, 32-8. The Pacific Division, the Golden Knights sitting on top over there, 27-16. And a big shout out there to the Seattle Kraken. Seattle Kraken, Colbs.
Chugging along.
Thank you. Go to the NBA.
I don't know why I have to be a fan of the Seattle Kraken. I just don't understand it.
I don't know. You just have to be. NBA standings, Eastern Conference, the Bulls 32-18, 76ers 31-19, the Heat 32-20, the Cavs 31-20, the Bucks 32-21, Nets 29-21, the Hornets 28-23, and the Raptors 26-23. The Celtics sitting at 27-25. Big shout out there. Honorable mention to the Knicks at 24-27. Colbs, the Western Conference, the Suns. Damn. 41-9. Woo!
Yep. Pretty solid start.
The Woo Warriors. Woo! 39-13. The Grizzlies 35-18. The Jazz 30-21. The Mavericks 29-22. The Nuggets 28-22. Timberwolves 26-25. Clippers 26-27. Whoa, Colbs, damn. This is the first ever week that the Lakers aren't 500? I get so amped.
No, they haven't been probably, I would say, about 8 or 9 times this year.
Oh, my goodness. 24-27. But they're sitting at the number 9 seed, so they still got a shot. Before we go ahead and just move over.
Too, I mean, LeBron has been he took the last 3 games off, so hence the 3 losses.
Fair enough, but they're still there. The Lakers, maybe they're just playing with everybody, and come NBA postseason, they're just going to dominate and take it all.
I saw a quote somewhere that somebody had still picking them. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, "Nope, I'm not falling for this. Come playoff time, that's going to be the best team in the league."
That would be funny, actually, Colbs. When I know we've talked about sports betting and how funny that was, my adventure into that with the NFL. I wonder how much the Lakers would be a underdog when it came to that world, just to throw $5 on them and see.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't typically make stupid bets, but that would be one. I mean, I'd obviously be supporting it the whole way through. So, yeah, you know what, John? I might look into that. I'll get back to you.
I did see your facial expression. You're like, that ain't bad.
Hadn't even thought about it. That's actually a great motivator.
I might take a look too, Colbs, and I'm not big into the NBA, but it seems like that might be a favorable one to make.
That. Bet on LeBron.
Huh. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, man. And obviously, it's so weird. Who's on top? Not mentioning the NFL. I mean, we can, but it's the Super Bowl,
I
Colts.
mean, John,
The-
I don't think it would be who's on top if you're not ridiculously shouting out the two teams that everybody knows are left.
that is very true. Who's
John,
on
who's on
top,
top in
baby?
the NFC?
The Bengals sitting on top over there in the AFC. We got the Rams sitting on top in the NFC. Colbs, that's who's on top right now going in to the Super Bowl. I'm fired up. Talking
Dude,
about
you know,
underdogs.
you want to know what my favorite thing about this is, John? It was
What's-
something that didn't actually hit me until a few days ago. That after realizing obviously who the teams that are going to be playing in the Super Bowl are, it hit me that we're going to watch Cooper Kupp on one side and Jamar Chase on the other side, who are very arguably, I mean, it's not arguable with Cooper Kupp. He was the best receiver in the NFL this year. You could make an argument that Jamar Chase was the second hottest receiver in the NFL this season. I mean, if nothing else, just from that deep ball. Now, granted, you could make arguments. I don't think Jamar Chase is the second best wide receiver in the NFL, but I do think that he might be the second most exciting. Yeah, you know what? I'm still going to say that because I don't find Cooper Kupp incredibly exciting. I prefer watching Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill is very exciting, but
But
Cup
dude,
is
just
as well.
feed me. Chase, Kupp, feed me.
But Cup is so electric that he doesn't have to. You don't see him in a lot
He's
of
not
those
even
crazy.
electric. He's just always open. It's just
It's because
weird.
he's so electric with
It's
the.
not electric. He's just a great route runner, John.
I know, because he makes it look easy. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. He's
does.
got the
Sometimes
moves.
He looks like he's almost lazy on his routes, and it's like, is that the secret? Do you have to look like
Yeah.
you're not like this is my play off, guys? Don't worry about me. Oh, I'm not the guy on this particular play call. I'm like the third option. You don't have to worry about me. And he's just always open. Is he tricking people every play?
He must be, dude. He must be. I'm excited for it. I got a little fun prediction though. I'm saying the Rams are pulling this one off.
Oh, I think the Rams are too. But I think that I'm going to be rooting for the Bengals. Make no mistake about it. I'm rooting for the Bengals here. But at Field Goals on Twitter, by the way, as I've shouted them out now a couple of times, one of my favorite Twitter followers, or follows rather, they have deemed themselves a pretty much temporary Cincinnati Bengals fan club, if you will, on Twitter,
Okay.
just because this really started at the NFC Championship game. Because regardless, one of the Seahawks rivals is the one going to the Super Bowl from the NFC West. So
Yeah.
they said we're temporarily now a Cincinnati Bengals Twitter. I keep wanting to say podcast. They're a Twitter account.
They might have a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't looked into that. John, can I give you some Seahawks stuff while I'm here?
Yes. Tell
Now
me
that I've brought them in.
all about the Seattle Seahawks.
We're going to talk more about that shirt on the regular episode, John.
Heck yeah.
So, John, one of the things that I'm thinking here, because as Tom Brady retired, it opened a spot for Russell Wilson to get into the Pro Bowl. So now Russell Wilson is a Pro Bowler this year. Now, this pretty much seals that Russell Wilson is not coming back to Seattle. I'm sorry, Seahawk fans, but this is it. In years past, we were able to utilize the Pro Bowl as an opportunity for Russell Wilson to meet new people, meet new receivers. Hey, you know what? I really have a great chemistry with this guy, and maybe we can look into him. Granted, the Seahawks blindly just never did any of that. They just said, no, we're good. And granted, they have the weapons they need now with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. But you're going to put Russell Wilson out there with the league's best receivers, the league's best line, especially granted it's in a game where there is no defense, there's no pressure, they don't blitz in the Pro Bowl. So he's not going to be getting sacked, but he's going to love the way that feels. And then you're going to look on the other side of the ball and you're going to be like, oh, wow. Or if I just play with a good defense, which you know what, I also don't really have. So I think this pretty much seals the deal. Russell Wilson's about to go find his home in the Pro Bowl where he's going to come up with the right friend that just puts him in the right place for his next organization.
If you had
Sorry,
to guess,
Seahawks fans.
if you had to guess between a couple different organization scopes, who would you say would be your top contenders for him to go fill over there?
Top two for me, and I really think I guess there's three. but it is the Giants, who I don't think he should go to. It is New Orleans, who is what I would say that if he's going to leave Seattle, that he should choose. And it's Denver, which, okay. Like, they got a pretty solid roster. They do, but I don't know. There's something about them that doesn't feel like a championship level team, even if they have a Russell Wilson there. But Russell Wilson has, well, I mean, I guess he hasn't brought us to a championship since we had a really good defense, but he's brought us far along with very little. So, I mean, if I had to pick for him and he was just definitely leaving Seattle, I would say, please go to New Orleans, salvage what you can there, because you're going to be able to come in there. You're going to have Alvin Kamara. You're going to have some weapons to throw to still. You've got Michael Thomas. And on defense, I don't know if you noticed, John, but New Orleans has one of the most stacked defenses in the NFL.
Yeah. Quietly, I think they did it too, just because.
Now, the thing is because Seattle would have to trade to get rid of them. And that's something that Russ can force his way out on. And that's the only uphold that I even have mentally is, can Russ even bring himself to be that guy? Because he's just never that guy. But if he does do that, the problem for him going to New Orleans is that they're probably going to have to give up not only draft picks, but a player or two. So you might lose your top corner in New Orleans with Marshawn Lattimore. You might see some movement there just to give Seattle the right pieces so you have Russell Wilson. Granted, I still think that their defense is good enough. They don't necessarily need any one guy on that defense. But that would be my top contenders for him. Conversely, with Aaron Rodgers, I think 100% he was out of there a year ago. This just cemented it. Granted, even I think he could have been the first quarterback of all time to win the Super Bowl and then still leave the team. And I think Aaron Rodgers, I think he's also looking at Denver. That seems to be the leader in the clubhouse. And I think sneaky with him is Tampa. I really could see him going over to Tampa. Because one other thing to keep in mind, John, when you think about Denver, they have to play Kansas City twice a year.
Oof.
Patrick Mahomes. You have to play against Derek Carr and the Vegas Raiders twice a year. Oof. And you have to play against Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers twice a year. Oof. I don't want to face those teams. Go ahead, send me out to Tampa, and I get to maybe face whoever New Orleans picks up, but maybe they don't, and I'm facing off against Jameis Winston again. And then on top of that, I got an aging Matt Ryan who might not even be there anymore. Atlanta might be getting a new quarterback. And then Carolina, who we have no idea what the hell they're even trying to do a quarterback. We just know that PJ Walker got brought in to be the backup permanently for all of time. Like PJ Walker will probably be their backup in the next 60 years. Although I guess last time I did that, I kept saying that about Brady, and he just now retired, which, by the way, John, I got something on him too, but we're going to come back to him a little bit later.
Yeah, dude. Colbs, real quick, I noticed that you mentioned Matt Ryan, and that would be sad if he just kind of fades out. Like he doesn't really get to retire. He just fades. You know how some athletes do that?
I got a sneaky suspicion about him that he's going to end up in Pittsburgh.
Oh, ooh.
It's just a suspicion, but
I like that.
He played college ball at Boston College, so he's familiar with playing up north. He doesn't need the dome to be successful. He can play in the cold weather. Pittsburgh's got a solid roster, and what they're really lacking is a quarterback. You go from one aging quarterback to another. I don't think it's a championship level team, but I do think it keeps Pittsburgh. Actually, I think it makes them better than what they just were. Matt Ryan is not really the problem in Atlanta. It's basically everything else that's happening in that building.
Dude, I would love to see Matt Ryan go over there, but it also would be sad too, because you think of the Falcons and you do think of Matt Ryan. So it's like, can they let him go?
It is. It's synonymous. You're just like, okay, Falcons, all-time greats. Matt Julio Ryan? Jones, Matt Ryan, Jamal Anderson. Like you just start kind of diving into the other guys that have been Falcons. Like I remember when they went to the Super Bowl in '98, John, I don't even know if you know who this quarterback is. It was Chris Chandler.
Oh God, no, I don't.
Nope. Just kind of just a guy like that. That's honestly what his career amounted to. He was one of these guys that would come out and throw the ball for a pretty good bit throughout the course of his career. Like almost like a Brad Johnson or like today's era, like Johnson, more like a Kirk Cousins, you know, it was a guy and it was like, oh yeah, he's solid. But you weren't like, oh my God, we got the guy. That's that's kind of what I feel about like the majority of Atlanta's history for the most part. Is just that they've always had, they've had guys, not the guys.
Dude, that would be interesting to see him go over there, though. I totally forgot about Matt Ryan. Hey, I feel really bad for Ben Roethlisberger because it kind of got overshadowed with Tom Brady retiring. So,
I don't like that could not have been any better. You know what? If Tom Brady's going to choose to retire, it should be at the same time that Big Ben does, because I don't want him getting any shine for anything. You didn't make that touchdown, a-hole.
dude, I mean, it blows my mind though. Big Ben's probably gonna be like, really, Tom? Like, really? Like now? Like, Big Ben's just gonna fade.
Yeah, and you know what's even better, John? 5 years from now, when they're doing the Hall of Fame introductions,
Yep.
guess who's headlining that too? It ain't Big Ben.
He'll be mentioned. That's for sure.
Yeah. They'll have like I'm picturing like a poster like you would see for a concert, right? And it's basically just a giant Tom Brady mural, and then at the bottom it just has in like tiny scroll, like maybe size 8 font, also Ben Roethlisberger.
Now, is Ben Roethlisberger? Yes, he was. He did win the Super Bowl a couple of times.
Yeah,
So,
twice.
yeah. So with that said, I mean, no doubt that he's a Hall of Famer, correct?
Oh yeah, no, he'll definitely make it to the Hall of Fame. I think his career, man, it was a good career. I don't think he had the same. I honestly, here's one thing about that class. I feel terrible for Phillip Rivers, because when you look at Big Ben with his 2 championships, when you look at Eli Manning with his 2 championships, and then
Oh,
Phillip
yeah.
Rivers with a 0,
Oh,
everybody just says, "Oh, it was all Eli and Big Ben. Those were the best 2." And it's like, you know what? No, it was Phillip Rivers. He was the best quarterback out of that class. And the other 2 guys, yeah, they won championships, but they played for organizations that really built around them the correct way. Big Ben's first title, when they beat the Seahawks in 2005 season, Big Ben wasn't throwing the ball for much of anything. They were handing the ball off to a mixture of Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker, and they were all predicated on defense. And then even secondarily, when you look at their Super Bowl that they won against the Cardinals in 2010, that was not just Big Ben slinging the ball all around. Like they had a whole lot of great talent on the defensive side of the football. James Harrison returned a interception right before half, 100 yards. Like that was half the offense of that half.
Colbs, what's crazy is I just loaded up here Ben Roethlisberger's numbers for his career.
Yeah, they're good.
Very, very good, right? Comparable to Phillip Rivers as well. Almost the exact same thing, actually, which
Yeah.
is kind of funny. Almost identical. Now, Phillip Rivers, this is interesting to me. Since 2006, obviously he retired in 2020, but since 2006, he started every single game of every single season. He played in every game. Durability, what?
Eli did something like that too. Eli, from like, I think it was a year earlier than it was for Phillip Rivers, but he played all the way through till like the last year that he was in the league, and then he got benched for 1 game, and then after that, his streak ended, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done."
That was funny the way Eli went out. Now, I don't know. Is that a sleeper? Could Eli just randomly come out of retirement? He's a little bit older than
God,
Phillip
I hope
Rivers,
not.
but
I hated watching Eli play.
I mean, so out of that class, right? Eli Manning, definitely Hall of Famer, right? I mean,
That's just it. He's going to end up in there, and I don't think he should be. I would let Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger into the Hall of Fame. I would not let Eli Manning into the Hall of Fame.
So looking at his numbers, not nearly as good as
turnover machine.
Yeah, as Big Ben and Phillip Rivers. So interesting when you take a look at it that way. But he did win 2 Super Bowls, and that is
that's
like
the thing. And they were
somehow
both
it
against
gauges.
Brady. They were both against Brady. So he's going to get all this credit that he did all these great things. And it's like, again, with him, even the teams that he won the Super Bowl with, those were really loaded rosters where he was the issue. Like he was the bad guy on the team. He was the guy that you were like, I don't know what he's going to do. Wasn't like all these Giants fans come around all the time saying, no, we've been on Eli this whole time. No, they haven't. I've heard it. Like every time that Eli had a 3-interception game, which was relatively often, you would hear everybody in New York trying to trade away Eli Manning. I don't want to hear that Eli Manning is this great quarterback that's been beloved in New York throughout his whole career. He was a decent quarterback that had 2 very good runs, both of which were like wild card teams, by the way, John. Neither one of those were like your 12-4 prototypical Super Bowl level team. They just happened to be the hot team come playoff time, and it kind of came out of nowhere both seasons. And it ain't because of Eli.
Damn, dude. It's a different era, though. We're seeing these peeps just kind of call it quits. But let's hope that Matt Ryan still has a little bit left in the gas tank. Another 4 years, Matt.
I'd like to see him make somewhat of a comeback here because, granted, I don't think that a lot of his downfalls have been mostly on him. I think it's more so been the offensive scheme that they've had there in Atlanta and the fact that they just haven't had anything to go around him. So it's just like he's out there and he's got Calvin Ridley and now he's got this Kyle Pitts kid who, by the way, I saw finish
1,000
like second.
yards.
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw he was like second. Every time I looked at the stat sheet, Kyle Pitts had like 4 catches for 20 yards. I'm like, where did he get all these yards? What did I miss like a 600-yard game he had?
Well, the thing is with Pitts, and I'm not looking at it right now, but I think he only had 1 touchdown reception on the season. So it's not like he was in the highlight reels, which hurt him from kind of that celebrity status, I guess. But he quietly worked his way up the ranks there to hit over 1,000 yards. So that's exciting. I mean, okay, let's have some fun with this. Let's say Matt Ryan does leave Atlanta. Who the hell steps in over there? Out of all the other options.
Rosen.
Oh, yes, please.
He is the backup.
Ghost, please, Josh.
I knew I'd set you off with that one.
Dude, I hope so. Ever since I saw that freaking video of him in the stands, I'm rooting for the guy. I know you are too. And the funny thing
he's
is,
made me look bad for years.
Josh Rosen is younger than Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. He's younger than those cats. So, I mean, is he in his prime finally right now? Is he ready?
Well, yeah, he's in his prime right now, but his prime's just not that good. I was just flat out wrong about him coming out of college. I honestly thought we had ourselves a perennial Pro Bowl quarterback, and we have a backup.
Well, the thing is, maybe he's going to end up making it kind of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick career. Like he'll have let's say
Won't
that
even be that, man.
Colbs, let's say that scenario does play out. Matt Ryan does go somewhere. Matt Ryan goes to Green Bay, right? And they get Josh Rosen. They're like, yeah, we'll just give you a shot and see how you do. The dude throws up 30 touchdowns, 10 picks. Everybody's like, wait a minute, Josh Rosen is good. Let's go ahead. Let's lock him up.
I will throw out your theory of it being Green Bay only because they still have Jordan Love, who they've promised that is going to be the successor to Aaron Rodgers. So I don't think it's going to be Green Bay, but I understand the point you're making. If he goes to a team that needs a quarterback and comes out and does anything, the problem is, John, is he's going to only be coming in at a backup capacity. So it has to be a team where your starter's also just not good, so you can rely on them benching him at some point.
Oops. Completely off topic. American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story. That is out in movie theaters right now. I saw the trailer. I totally want to see it because Kurt Warner has the most interesting story to me. Maybe it's because I've worked in retail like my whole life, and same for you, that Kurt Warner was in like a grocery store. I know neither one of us did that, but well, you kind of did a little bit, touched on it slightly.
Oh yeah, to an extent. Yeah.
To an extent. But holy crap, does that movie look interesting? Kurt Warner, man. The stupid question. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, John, that's not a stupid question. I think that they ended up giving him the jacket, but he was somebody that it was debated about for a long time. I thought that you had to have him there when he retired just because not only was he the quarterback of one of the greatest offenses of all time there in St. Louis, but he had a very strange career trajectory. He came into the league essentially as somebody that wasn't meant to be anything. because, I mean, he had played in, I think it was either the Canadian Football League or I think it was the Arena Football League. I think it was the AFL. And he came onto the St. Louis Rams and only got put in because Trent Green got hurt. And that's what propelled the greatest offense of all time. And then he takes years where he was playing with the Giants roster after he gotten benched in St. Louis for Mark Bulger a few years later.
Yes, I'm seeing that now. That's right.
He moved over to the Giants, and when they drafted Eli Manning, they gave him split snaps, and Kurt Warner just looked like he had nothing left in the tank. So it was like, oh, well, I guess this Warner guy, he got benched twice now. He can't be that great, right? It must have just been a magical thing. But then he goes to Arizona and makes that one of the most dynamic offenses in the NFL. Granted, yeah, you had a Larry Fitzgerald and an Anquan Bolden to throw the ball to, but I love the Kurt Warner story. I think it's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I had to give that a shout out. I actually just pulled up his stats right here. So yeah, he is in the Hall of Fame, 4 times Pro Bowler, 2 times All Pro, 1 time Super Bowl champ, 2-time MVP. Damn, 2-time MVP.
I think it was both 99 and 2000, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, 99 and 2001.
Okay. Oh, that's right. The year that he ended up losing to Brady's first Super Bowl.
Oh my God. What the hell? It all goes around. But yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. And talking about Phillip Rivers and stuff, who had so much better for stats.
I just got to point out, by the way, John, I love that you can't tell any one story of the NFL without involving Tom Brady, because Tom Brady's been around for so damn long. Everything that you tie a story to, it's like, oh yeah, and then Brady did this.
Well, that's our era, Colbs. That's when my memory started kicking in. That's when my memory banks was working. That's when I was actually able to comprehend the football games. I mean, I still can't comprehend football games. Who are you kidding? I just watch it. I just stay there and observe.
You want another quick potential leader in the clubhouse for another quarterback that's going to be on the move potentially?
Yes, please. Give me it. What do you got?
A lot of speculation that Jimmy Garoppolo might be the Bucs' next quarterback.
Buccaneers?
Yeah. Bucs' next quarterback might be Jimmy G, which will be funny as hell because, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo is still somehow trying to chase Tom Brady.
Ooh.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't think that keeps them nearly as relevant, but I mean, it is kind of a fun topic, if you will. I mean, Jimmy G just doesn't have it. Whatever it is, he doesn't have it.
Oh, wow. Let me see. Let's see here. Okay, talking about Jimmy G, when Tom Brady retired, Jimmy Garoppolo becomes the only active NFL quarterback with multiple Super Bowl rings. Holy crap, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Jimmy G is a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah. As Tom Brady's backup, he won 2 or 3 rings.
So Jimmy G's a Hall of Famer.
No. No. What are you doing? You
As
can't just put guys in the Hall of Fame for rings. That's not how it works. Robert Horry in basketball is not a Hall of Famer. Robert Horry's won 7 NBA championships.
No, what? Holy crap.
He was just a role player that kept being on the right teams. He was part of the Shaq Kobe Lakers. I think it even goes back. I don't remember if he was here's where my memory starts going out on the NBA. I don't remember if he was part of the Jordan Bulls or if he was part of the early Tim Duncan Spurs, but I know he caught rings elsewhere. And then I'm sure, I mean, he had to have been a part of other teams as well, but I think he had latched himself to 2 separate dynasties.
Wow. 7-time NBA champ. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to him. So I don't know, Colbs. I don't know, man. Good stuff, dude. I'm excited for the future, though. We probably have the most talented. Oh, let me take that back. We probably have the most exciting quarterback class here of like under 25 or under 26-year-old something.
In a while, yeah.
Yeah, in a while. Especially in the division that you were mentioning over there with the Chiefs. And you got, well, pretty much what, the AFC.
Yeah, yeah. Other than Derek Carr, the whole AFC West is young. Yeah, really, you look into the whole AFC. I mean, you got Josh Allen. Granted, Tua, I don't think's really that good, but Tua is there's a level of wanting to watch him. There's
Yeah.
something about him that's captivating. I mean, you look around Mac Jones, who was definitely just rookie of the year. We look at the Jets, and you don't know exactly what Zach Wilson's going to be, but there's a little bit of excitement there. You got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, whatever Pittsburgh's about to do, unless they stick with an older guy.
Or
We don't
Mason.
know what they're going to be
Sticking with
into.
Mason Rudolph again. It seems like he's been around forever.
I mean, Baker Mayfield's a massive talking point, and he's somebody that's in that general age group. I think he's 26 or 27. And then you go to the AFC South, and okay, I guess Tannehill's got some age to him. Carson Wentz at this point is probably a little bit older. Yeah, maybe they're the misled thing. I guess the Texans and the Jags have the young quarterbacks there, so we'll see what that does.
Oh man, yeah. Just looking at Baker Mayfield here, just pulling up his stats for the season. Not a great one this year.
No, he's had a strange thing. If you look at I believe he's played 4 years now in the league, and he has had a good season, bad season, good season, bad season. So I still don't really know what to do with him. I'm just saying that he is a relatively average quarterback that is mistake prone, shouldn't play through injury, but tries to. And I think that he does have an explosive ability, but it's not consistent.
Fair enough, man. Dude, what about like a Cam Newton going over there to the Saints?
They'll look pretty comparable to what they do with Taysom Hill.
True. Same kind of style. What about just leaving Taysom Hill there? You don't think they'll do that though, huh?
They might. It's just that New Orleans actually has a shot at landing one of these top level guys because the team is so well built that they really only need a quarterback. That's all they are missing. So if they can get one of these top level guys, they're going to do it. And that's really the draw right now. If they choose not to, and if they choose to just stick with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, they're just going to keep being 8-9, 9-8 for the next foreseeable future.
They'll be somewhat in contention, maybe make a little bit of noise.
Yeah, there will be like one season that they're 12-5, and people are like, "Oh my God, are they going to do it this year?" And no, they're going to probably get dropped in the wild card round.
You know what was interesting? I ended up hearing something on Sirius XM, and what was it? 87. I don't know. It was one of the sports talks channels, and they were talking about how oh my God, super bad for live podcast material.
No, well executed, John. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you a hand here. Thank you, John.
When in doubt, raise it up, Colbs. When in doubt, raise it up.
Oh, well, okay.
Spoken like a true Seattle Seahawk fan. That's what I do. I forget my words. Colbs, I don't know where I was going with that, homie. That's listening to the radio.
This is probably the perfect spot to end the roundtable.